Welcome everybody to Fellowship of the Golden Age, and today we have something very unique that we haven't done for a long time. But I'm interviewing a couple, which is Elly and Yves. So hello, Elly and Yves.
Hello,
Hi, Neptune.
welcome.
Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
So, yeah, I'm just really excited to be talking with you and hearing about your story as a couple and, and just going into some of the deeper aspects of, what it's like to be a couple and being ascended master students. So I think we should start off with can you sort of tell us a little bit, just bring a little bit of background because we'll get to know you guys personally at another stage, but, a little bit of your own personal backgrounds and then tell me about how you both met, like the story.
Well, I lived in the south of the Netherlands and even the north. So I lived in a very Catholic area and an area which was during the Second World War very burdened area, you know. There I was born, and I always said to my mother, "Why did my parachute drop out here?" So my mother
Mm.
said, "Your parachute." I thought, yeah, my parachute.
Wow.
My life was well, not so easy because of the pressure of the Catholic Church weighing on me as a heavy load. And when I grew up, I started to read when I was in my teenage years. I started to I read a lot of books, and I also started about the herbs, healing, and many other things. The book of Yogananda, the Masters of the Far East, and I was very much interested. So and it went on. And also my belief in, not in the Catholic Church, but a belief in Jesus and Mary was very deep within my heart. So I lived in a very small town, and my neighbor was a clairvoyant person. And he said to me, "You have to go to a dentist in Germany to remove your amalgam from your teeth."
Hmm.
And I said, "Well, I'd rather like to go to a dentist in Holland, not in Germany, because all the way to Germany." I said, "You have to go, you have to go. I've been there with him. He's Dutch. You have to go to him especially."
Hmm.
And then, well, I was obedient. So I made an appointment with the dentist. And he appeared to be in the Zen Master student from the I'm movement. The first meeting with him was just like brother and sister of old,
Hmm.
and we both felt the same. And we became friends. And um, so we had some meetings with other students in Germany. And after I think it was in 2004,
2004, yes.
there came through three new students from Amsterdam, and one was Yves. But Yves had a relationship with another lady, and I was still in my marriage.
Hmm.
But it had nothing to do with one another. So I divorced in 2006. Well, that's also quite a story. And then I came to live in a very small town which is dedicated to Beloved Mary. Well, Yves and I and his friend, we met each other in Amsterdam, and once they came here, and it was very nice. We both went to international meetings in Germany and in Switzerland. And that was great in Switzerland at the Birkenstock. I've never had such a wonderful experiences there. But we were not in love with each other. We were just normal friends.
Yes.
And in 2008, Yves left the activity. And I stayed in the activity
Hmm.
because the burden of the Catholic Church was so heavy upon me. And also, I know some past lives of myself. I had to get rid of this burden. And how did I do it? I went to Manchester sometimes, 2 times, and I went 5 times to Chicago to the Temple of the I Am, and which brought me to intense healing for myself for that part to get rid of that part with
So are
using
you
the
talking about like there's like a fear you'll go to hell if you left the movement? Is that what you're referring to?
what do you mean?
Okay, so you were saying that there was like a burden from the Catholic Church, and that was sort of keeping you in the I am movement. And was there like a fear that you would be, punished by going to hell or something like that, which is, if you left the movement, like, is that why you stayed, or you just stayed because you wanted to stay?
No, no, because the Violet Flame classes helped me a lot to
Mm-hmm.
clear so many things. It was like a spa for me. It was intense healing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2006, I had a burnout because something happened to my mother. She had a severe brain attack and she was half lamed, and it really touched my heart so deeply. And I've had a burnout.
Mm.
And I used to do the classes at home by myself, the candle service and everything, but I couldn't do it anymore. And the Violet Flame didn't help me. So I had to look for help for a psychologist. And
Mm-hmm.
it really helped me a lot. And I made my own decrees and I asked Saint Germain, please help me because I feel that something is changing within me. I have to choose a different path. But where can I find a different path than the eye movement? And I was also reading books of the Summit Lighthouse, but that didn't connect to me. So the summer of 2017 was a difficult summer for me. And I had a dream during the night. I woke up and I was dreaming about Eve. And I thought, Eve, how is she doing? That was it. But the next night, I was dreaming again about Eve. And that was such an intense dream that I knew I had to connect to him.
Mm.
So I sent him an WhatsApp. It took some weeks to not think about, well, he's having a relationship and we are not connecting anymore. So I sent him a WhatsApp and I received a WhatsApp back. And that's the moment when we made an appointment to call each other on the telephone. And then Eve told me my girlfriend left me for 2 years ago.
Ah.
So let's make an appointment, come to Amsterdam. So
and to
that's what I
and
did.
to talk about Saint Germain, because when I received her WhatsApp, I know immediately it's about to progressive revelation. I started already in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
and she met me again in 2017. So we met them again in Amsterdam, and I'm talking about Kim Michaels, about the Cell Masters, of all the issues, the psychology,
Ah, yes, yes.
of human ego, of a separate self. of other things, and she reading the books of Kim Michaels. So she is very eager to learn,
Yeah.
and so I am eager to learn. Um, her background, she's Catholic Church. We're very strict in this region where we live, so not anymore. But my background is totally different. I was free. I live in the west part of the Netherlands, under Amsterdam. My father was an artist. He was a fashion designer, and my mother, she was a pretty beautiful woman. So it was very free. We go to Switzerland and to France when I was young with the whole family, and we went also as little child to Paris for the theaters. Just was a totally different background of Elly. Elly was very strict.
Mm.
She lived only in the Poel, that is the district,
Nature.
in the nature, and I went all very young. I saw really. I said, oh, I went to Josephine Baker, Josephine Baker in Paris in the late 60s. So total difference. And I have had three sisters, and one, especially Maud, she was very spiritual, talking about astrology and other things. When I was with her, deep in the night, we're talking about a lot of subjects. But years later, I after relations that doesn't work. So I was sitting down, and then I get a God revelation. So it was in seconds, Neptune, in seconds. And I came to the conclusion, okay, I'm going to do something. I have to work for the light. I have no spiritual background, no spiritual religious background also. So I started to go to the town of Amsterdam to go to the American bookshop to read books. And then I think after 50 books, I get I get the book of the I am activities, the green books. I read them all, and then I decided 2004 with my girlfriend in that time to go to Mount Shasta, because in Mount Shasta the IMTV have there an how do you call that?
Yeah,
Uh,
they call it Shasta Springs. It's
spring.
an environment where there are a lot of houses and they meet together in during the summer
Yes,
time.
Hmm.
but I went there not for the activities, but I was still reading the books, but for David Stone in that time, the conference with David Stone. So
Mhm.
we took the plane to Atlanta, then to San Francisco, and we hired a car, and it was a white car. And when I arrived in Mount Shasta, my girlfriend at that time said, Yves, look at the license of the car. And you don't believe it, it was my name written on it,
Ha ha ha.
Yves. So it was a signal.
Mm.
So when I went to the hotel, and we go to Mount Shasta, and was very eager to look after the library. What I I I know there was a library of the IM activity, and I had to buy three books from the IF. There's three books for the IM activity, the green books. So finally, I found the library. I went into, and there was Monique was there, very little woman, and I talk about where I came, and that I need three books of the activities, and she said, "Oh, what beautiful! This morning I get the attention or the to urge to pick up that three books." That's 3 books. So they take them to the library. And so these are the 3 books that you have to read.
Uh-huh.
So we have a lot of miracles, but signs. When we returned to San Francisco, I was walking there and I looked down. I said very big letters, I am on the ground. So there are a lot of signals. And then after, um, I went into the activity in Europe. So I found they said the president of the IMTVs in Europe, in Switzerland. And then he said, you have to go to Leo Visser. This is the story that told Elly about for the dentist. And so that's the way we meet each other.
Yes, yes.
So my background is she's working in the care, the social care. I am still working as an advocate, as lawyer, and but I'm reading this all this about duality consciousness, about psychology, about the selves that you have. So I did penal law, family law, and social security law, and I've decided to get rid of the penal law, to get rid of the family law, divorce and that kind. And I'm now 66 years old, and I'm only doing now security law, and that's there's no duality. I work with clients, and it's about people who won't have an uitkering. How do you say that? Security, welfare,
yeah.
And so I help them. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's very nice work to do.
Mm, mm.
And so I want to continue to do it when I said, okay, it's okay. So I can do, for example, to do 100 cases in a year. So I can reduce it to 40 or 50 cases. So that's my pension.
Mm-hmm,
That's my
mm-hmm.
pension.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So could you guys tell me a bit about where will we start? Let's go first with how do you guys deal with one another in relationship when separate selves come up? And yeah, like, do you have any stories around that?
Well, when separate selves come up, you don't think when you meet a loved one, a relationship who works also with these center masters, that everything is wonderful, because
Mm-hmm.
and also not it is not the love you expect when you are on earth. You think, oh, I need that loved relationship, which I feel, the butterflies in my tummy, and I feel, oh, I feel so much in love. It's a different kind of love, because at the moment I met Yves again, and I felt that deep inner feeling, inner knowing, inner connection. And so there was a separate self that was saying, because in the beginning I said, no, I don't want a relationship with you, because I felt that I had to feel that enormous love,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's so beautiful. And I didn't feel that. And I thought, oh, so I must be mistaken to have a relationship with Yves. But
Yes.
now I know, after 7 years, this is not the case. It is not about this feeling. It is about what I told before, that inner connection. And that we know from each other it's a kind of unconditional love,
Mm.
which flowing like figure eight. When separate selves come up, for instance, when I work with autistic people, and it's sometimes so hard. And then Yves told me, just send me a WhatsApp so I can do a decree for you. And
Wow.
it really helps me. So Yves had
Mm.
last week a situation at his work that was so intense. He sent me a WhatsApp, and that I go to a room where I can be with myself. And then I was at work. So I did a decree for him, and he said I could feel the energy coming.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's how we help one another. About our own separate selves, the moment I met Eve, he was talking about Kim Michaels, and in a way I thought, Kim Michaels, I know him, but I don't know him, so what's going on? And Eve said, "Come, when I was in Amsterdam, come, we start to do the decrees from Kim Michaels." We did the decrees, and I was completely into the flow.
Yeah.
From that moment on, I didn't know, I didn't know a decree from the eye movement.
Yes.
I started with decrees from Kim Michaels. I started
Mm-hmm.
to reading the books, and the separate cells that come up. There are invocations. Sometimes I don't know what invocation. Eve helps me to tell me, oh, use that invocation, go and work on that part. And
Mm.
so I
Mm.
do now with Eve.
There's
Um,
an
Yeah.
interaction.
that's
An
a,
Yeah.
interaction.
yes.
So, yeah, of my part also about the separate cells. So I'm now 66 years old. I'm different, very different when I was 20 years ago. Uh, the big self we have, it is we have so the collective consciousness. There's competition, to compete, and to compare. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I've released them. I released them, and that's why I tell you so. As lawyer, I don't want to have panel law to do to do with the criminals. You understand? So that's their they have to take the responsibility. So um, it's not my part anymore. Divorce and that kind, personal family, I don't do it. Only it's about cases, security parts, the security about health problems. You go to an institution in Netherlands for welfare. In yeah, how do you call? Okay, uitkering. It's okay.
Yeah.
So that is to for me is it's very nice to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes you have clients they have severe psychological problems. I now know, and we recognize that. For example, last week I have a client. So I'm very clear to persons. So also our office. So we do that for you, and not other things because we have otherwise they come with everything to you for the telephone for other things. So I said only strict. And so I told him within my emails and emails, 6, 7 emails, and always. And then I meet on the telephone and he said, I'm very angry on you. I say, okay, that's possible. And then I thought, I explained situation. And he said, okay, I don't want you as lawyer anymore. I say, okay, but I know in my inner knowing, you have severe OCD problems. That is obsessive, a compulsive disorder, and cognitive dissonance. I studied not medicine, but I know for
Mm.
the teachings where I do, and so I can explain it. It doesn't help him.
Mm. Mm.
So that's what I have because I'm very sensitive as like Elly. So when there's something, it is magnifying in you because
Mm,
you are
mm.
so very sensitive. So yeah, that kind of relation you have sometimes, but 90% is okay for everything.
Yep.
So that is
And
very
so,
interesting. And about the self-separate cells, I'm working with young persons. I'm 66, and the oldest one are 30, 30, 30, 30, 31, 32, 34. And I have a relation with, I'm a patron for two stagiaires, we called, in the office. So I
yeah,
learn them. I'm the master for them to learn. And that's
yeah.
very nice to do. But I see all the issues they have because in into you own the path, you do the psychology, you see the psychology elements. But
Mm,
also, I we have to try to see your our own psychological patterns in yourself.
mm,
I said, the
mm,
master said, okay, you can see in all the people the separate cells, but you don't get more growth, but you have to see themselves. And that is why we have each other to mirror.
mm.
And
So
and if you mirror,
what happens when, like, do you see when one of you goes into a separate self? Like, how do you balance one another if that
now
happens?
who you balance, you have to see it's a separate self is created by separation. Yeah, originally when you come to planet Earth for the first time, you created the birth trauma, and then the cells came after life, after life, after incarnation, after incarnation. There's a cumulate of separate cells, and if you do know what the cells are, because I told you in the beginning about I'm rereading the books of Kim Michaels, masking the ego for the second time, and
Hmm.
okay, the ego and the separate selves. Kim explained that the ego is a container for the selves. That is the self. This all,
Yep, yep, yep.
everything is energy. Everything is energy. So it is an energetic situation. And if you discover a self in yourself, you have to be uh, not to say, "Oh, Jesus, Jesus, I have a self in myself." No, to laugh about it. Okay, to make not very things seriously.
Yep.
So you have to work, and so after work, that's only matter to remove them and don't give energy to yourselves. So it is a very interesting path to follow.
Yes, as
Absolutely.
Yves is showing me to observe more, more in observation. And I was the kind of person who want to heal the whole planet, like
Mm,
my Tai Chi teacher told me many, many years ago, you want to heal the whole world, and I can tell you, you do not succeed. And I was so frustrated. And well, I worked also as a chakra therapist, as a healer. But when I had a burnout. I had to heal so many things for myself. So I saw that I could not heal other persons while I first had to heal myself and my heart and my pain.
hmm, hmm.
And Eve is very well spoken because in the South, we say people from Amsterdam, they are so direct. They say everything they think, and we are um, more shy,
Yep.
more um, yeah. So Eve learned he learns me to speak out more, not to shut my mouth, because he told me, you are the light, you are the Christ, so speak out. And that's what I'm doing now, more and more and more at work, even in my family. I don't mind what they think about me. I just
Yeah.
speak out, even to my mother, because the relationship with my mother was not such an easy relationship. And now she's in the health, in an elderly home. She's in a wheelchair. She needs help, and we are more and more into balance now, and it's very nice, and it's a tremendous help of Eve, because all the time when I come alone, she said, "Oh, where is Eve?" And I said, "Oh, he will come next time." But when Eve comes, Eve speaks to my mother about spirituality, about life after that. Because when I speak about it, she's, "Oh, no." But when Eve starts to speak, so that's a great help, and even for my brothers. And I have a sister. She's 9 years younger than I am, and she's also in the Zen Masters teachings, also with Kim Michaels now since I think what
Couple,
2 years,
2 years,
two
yes.
years now. She's very enthusiastic, so that's very nice to speak
Yes.
with her about it.
Yeah, yeah, wonderful. So, Eve, like, what have you learnt from Elly?
From Elly, oh, this is very good. I love she's very careful. She is lovely. She is now also straight as I. And what I learned, yes, that is what she have good things to, yeah. This the problem with Dutch to translate to English. This
Yeah,
is the
I know.
problem. But she also mirrored to me. For example, when she feeling not good enough with you, so perhaps you have something in of headache or so. I think, okay, is it me that
Yeah,
I not so? So she explained it is not you, but I have a self that say, oh, perhaps it's by me
yeah.
she is doing this or she's thinking that or so. So that's a self. And that's how I think, oh, I said, okay, it's thank you. I can remove that self. So there's a lot of little selves, besides the big ones to compare, to compete. Is there very the subtle cells that we have to see now in the yeah
Hmm.
in the because I'm already doing this all very long. For 2008. So it's yeah, until you're going to die, it's the process, and even on the inner level, you have to do this to continue
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
process,
Yeah.
And what about the healing?
the
I
healing.
help you with I help Eve with his healing issues, and
Hmm.
it took some time, because as a healer, I don't want to be the healer for my partner,
Yep.
but I can give him some, ideas what to do.
Mm.
So
And Ellie is
that's.
also with the food, all everything biologically. She made me more conscious about that kind of things, about food and of energetic level and that, and over healing. I've had 1 year ago an atrium flutter. So that's it's about the heart because I'm
Hmm.
very sportive. I do fitness, I do biking, and we went to Austria, and it was very hot over there on the bike, and we have to ride 70 kilometers, and then we went up to a hill, and after then I get a heartbeat very high in rest, 150, 160 in rest. And that's an atrium flutter. So I
Mm.
had that for 4 days. When we returned to from Austria to the Netherlands, I go to the hospital to check myself, and we checked my heart. And so what I have also, I have how do I explain this in English? Dus I have a leg this full of oedeem.
Ödem.
Do you
I
know
don't
what
know what.
oedeem?
That
Edema?
is,
Edema?
he has problems with his lymphatic system. So,
Okay,
and the
yes.
lymphatic system is very important also for the veins and the heart and everything. And he's now going to my healthcare. I call her my nature doctor. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
She she helps Yves now with natural medication,
Yeah.
and it's
Yes.
really amazing because you can see it.
And Elly
Yeah.
is very
Hmm.
intuitively. And so she knows from in the knowing, so, okay, that, because if you go to the doctor, you say that and that, but it is more. It's not the source of the problem.
Mm,
The source is the lymphatic system. But
yes.
that in the medical world, they see it's not so.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand?
Yeah, it's
So
good to bring them both together, like
yeah,
little bit of Western, but I think, I like to approach from a very holistic way too. Just another thing for the lymphatic system is dry brushing. Like, have you heard about that? Where you stimulate all the lymphatic points
okay.
and you literally just run a brush over, encouraging all your lymphatic to just start flowing everywhere. You just do your whole body with a dry brush. That's another.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do it with of a wet one, so I have to try with a dry one.
Yeah, yeah. There's something I can't tell you the reason why, but there's something about the dry brushing. You do it just before you get in the shower, and yeah, you definitely feel quite, like it just warms you up and gets everything moving and flowing.
Yes.
And mm,
Yes. I know. I
yeah,
understand that.
Yes.
Yes. But we
yeah.
don't use that. No.
Okay.
And what is also
Yeah.
very important to do if we're working for the light, that is to do every morning. We do every morning the degrees, the protection degrees for 20 or 30 minutes. And even if I have time in the evening, we do a unification. So yeah, the energy is streaming.
Mm,
So
mm.
so nice feeling.
Yeah, lovely. And so do you need you're obviously together a lot of the time and everything. Do you have times where, you just need to sort of go within, and does that happen fairly easily for you? Like, how are your needs met in that way for your own personal time of contemplation?
Well, that's a very good question because I am now at that point of having more uh, time for myself. I feel that, and I work shifts, so night shift, evening shift, morning shifts, weekend shifts. When I have weekend shifts and night shifts, Eve has his own bubble. He's here alone and he can do what he wants. And but when I'm home, I'm always taking care of many things. How
Hmm.
it goes. Yeah, that's now what can we do to have more time for yourself?
Mm.
For me, is
I have to
yes.
work 2 years till my pension. Then I'm 67. I'm still 64. But till my pension, I decided to not work any night shifts. I told my manager I'm not going to do it anymore. And we have a lot of trouble in healthcare. We have not so much people working in healthcare, but I need to tell my boundaries for that. So
Mm.
to have to be more at balance.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
definitely.
why she have now to be more direct to the
Mm.
yeah to the work to say, okay, that is my boundary, because
Yes.
otherwise she get a burnout.
Yeah, you
But
get
we don't want that.
exhausted. You get so exhausted.
Yes.
Mm. Mm. I know. I've been there and yeah, burnout, complete burnout. So
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, the important thing, and also I've been through a similar sort of process with learning to be direct with communication. Like I used to find it so hard to say, what I'm thinking and feeling, but
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it helps. If you just say what you need, you're direct about things, you're honest, like, yeah, people know where you stand and it's done. Like, just no need to worry about how they think or feel about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such a relief.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah.
So we're sort of pretty much getting to the end here, but if there's something that like either of you or both of you would like to say in closing, like what would that be?
We can say, but I can say, we can say that our spiritual path is a huge blessing, huge blessing, and that we are together is a huge blessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I agree. Um, it's an inner feeling that makes me feel so also alive and that the whole Catholic Church that was a startup for me to connect also to the Ascended Masters. For me, it was not strange, you know. I
Mm.
always had that very intense inner feeling. My grandmother always told me, she gave me when I was very little a statue of Mother Mary, and she said, she belongs to you. And I said, I don't want a statue, I want a toy to play with. But now I'm older, I understand, and that's so wonderful. I understand so much of my past life and past lives, this life in the beginning and how it's when I was in the school and I was 6 years old and I was in a nunnery school and they plastered my mouth, they stick the plaster on my mouth so that they said, you shut your mouth. It was always, Elly, you shut your mouth. And that I now can speak from the heart
Mm.
and also with power. And
Mm.
I've had some situations when I spoke with so much power that people were really, really trembling. And
Mm.
it was at a school where my children were. The teachers were giving lessons that were before I said the First World War or Second World War. They beat the children. It was, and I spoke up. I stood up and I spoke up to all the teacher and the director of the school. And it was so powerful. And I felt at the moment Mother Mary so close to me
Mm.
because when you hurt children, she is so close. And when you want to help children, she is of great help, and that's what I have felt. And now, when you get older, you get more wiser and more at peace. Um, so we are grateful. We are grateful we can do this together,
Yes.
Yeah.
and we are so grateful for the internet. We can connect with so many people, and with you, you know, you are
Yeah.
in Australia, you know, our feet meet each other like, oh, that we always say down under, hey. Uh, and it's such a joy, to to meet Kim Michaels in person. I met him two times, and Chulita. They are we are so blessed with them. So what is life about? This is life. It's not about the material world that we drive a big car, that we live in a huge house. We live in nature, and
Yeah.
we are happy. So
Yeah. Yeah. I know, and it's so lovely to be able to connect with you both and connect with you both as individuals, but also as a couple, and to form this lovely triangle. Well, it's a big circle of connection because we're with the masters too, and
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So it's been lovely being present here with you today and experiencing you both. Um,
yeah.
mm,
It's so
yeah,
lovely to
Yes.
connect with you, Neptune. Thank you so much for your work
yeah,
you do. It's very important. And as couples, you know, who follow the Sanema's teachings, it's very important to speak out, to like we do now,
yes.
to show other people, and it's important.
Mm,
Thank you for your opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
mm, that's okay. All right. Okay. So we'll close it here. So thank you again and bye bye, viewers.
Okay.
Bye bye.